okay? And the whole reason we're talking about this, I read an article in the Telegram, and they should pay me for advertising. Okay? Article reads, after 17 years, many Afghans blame the U.S. for unending war, which made me think, we've been at war going on 18 years now in this country, and I was thinking about it, we won a world war in 4 years. What's going on? Initially, whether you believe the war was legit or not, they presented it in a manner that seemed legitimate. And I'm okay with it. It's not a problem. Go to war, get the job done. Boom. 18 years later, we're still there. I personally think it's due to economics and military, or not military, but for corporation gains because of the power of the dollar and the mighty sway of doing this and that and staying there for things. In addition to, there is definitely a military reason that was beneficial to us. We can eavesdrop in other countries and all that kind of stuff, and I get that. But sometimes I wonder, we're there sacrificing our young men and women, dropping blood, spending cash to stay over there. Is it worth it? So I've got Mark here, Mark Boyer. I got Chief Dixon here. We're going to talk and just discuss. If you want to be part of the discussion for the next 15 minutes or so, give us a call, 254-697-6633. Mark, we'll start off with you. I asked you a few questions. Do you think it's kind of long that we're there? And a couple other things too. Why don't you give us some opinions, what you think?
Well, one thing that I'm reminded of is a movie that you and I both share. And in the movie it says, one guy is saying, feel free with my whiskey, and the mercenary says, oh, I will, thank you. Well, that's the same thing that's going on in Afghanistan. The military is saying, okay, we want all this to happen, and then the generals and a lot of the military is saying, well, okay, whatever you want. I've got all the resources. I'll feel free with your whiskey. Thank you. And unfortunately, folks, I've been over there a long time. And I've seen a lot of soldiers get sacrificed because of some stupid political agenda. And it's going on today after 18 years. Now, just some statistics, okay? Because I care more about the soldiers than I do about the war effort. In World War II, we lost 291,557 troops, KIA in combat. In Korea, we lost 33,652. Vietnam, 58,168. And Afghanistan, over 18 years, as of July of this year, we've lost 2,372. One is too many over politics and agendas and corrupt contracting, no accountability of funds. And why are we there? Why are we there? It goes down to a lot of things, I think, because of payoffs. We've got Pakistan right there on the border, who turns a blind eye to terrorist activity in their country, like Osama bin Laden being hid there and stashed there for so long. But they have nuclear weapons. India has nuclear weapons. Also Pakistan, they are our main logistical supply route from Karachi down in the port where the Navy brings in all this equipment. They load up on trucks, then they go landline into Kandahar down in the south, and then you go up north through the Khyber Pass into Jalalabad. All right, we have to pay tariffs, money. We're making jobs and economy for the Pakistani people who have nuclear devices and also house and support, turning a blind eye, several of these terrorist groups. And let me tell you, we have 13 terrorist groups right now operating in Afghanistan. We have 5 that are operating mainly in Afghanistan, but there are 8 who are sponsored and they reside in Pakistan. I've got a whole list of them, and they got catchy names like Al-Qaeda, Islamic Jihad Union, Islamic Movement is Pakistan. That's up north, folks. It's another landlined air hub near Mazar Sharif. Then we got the Taliban, Pakistan. The list goes on. We've got 13 of them, and they're all chuckleheads. But it's all about money. It's about State Department oversight over Pakistan. Afghanistan, they've got the opium trade. I wonder where the money goes for that.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. But our military leaders and our commanders-in-chief, our State Department, they feel free with our service members. And I do got to say that after World War II, our medical responders, our response time to casualties, it has been saving lives. And it's incredible what we have learned in the past. And today we only have 2,372 KIA in combat.
Let me add something to that because of the lack of time. I just want to go fast.
I'm done.
No, you're not done. We're just starting. But you're looking at the numbers here. Look at Vietnam, for example, 58,000 people. That's a lot of Joes and Janes not coming back, right? And the people back home are saying, hey, what's going on over there? Why are we over there? I think some of this has to do with the body count is so low in comparison to all the others that it's not a red flag popping up to media or whatever. It's not a good enough story for them to promote. And I also think there's a major disconnect with the populace when it comes to the military, in the sense that it seems to be they're doing their thing and we're doing our thing, as compared to going, what are they doing over there and why are they over there? Why are they getting sent to a meat grinder? What's the purpose? What's the outcome? What's the objective? Is there an objective?
An end state. In the military, we call that end state. What is the commander's intent and the final objective? I think we have to have a permanent party over there, or a permanent installation, so we have oversight on the nuclear situation in Pakistan. Like in Libya, when a lot of the militia groups took over the ammo supply points, the Stinger air missiles, the SA-7 Grail surface-to-air missiles, we also have to be sure that the nuclear weapons in Pakistan do not fall into the wrong hands.
This article, though, in part of it, the reason why I wanted to talk about it was they took us in as saviors, I guess is not the right word, but liberators. And while we're there for so long, now they look at us like we're causing the problems. It's like, if we're there as liberators, what did we get accomplished to liberate them? Because now the Taliban is still there. They're still doing dirty deeds. You got all these killings and deaths going on. We've been there for 18 years. We're the superior force on this planet, and we can't get this job done, or we don't want to get this job done.
Let me throw in something here. And I'm quite a bit older than y'all, and I went through the Vietnam era. During that period of time, nobody supported the war at all. You had certain select. We had soldiers there. We had soldiers daily. The body count was daily coming in. But, when they attacked our country here by the Twin Towers on 9/11, that changed the whole perspective. People got behind an effort then. Well, that effort has gone on, and unfortunately, in my opinion, and many opinions that I've talked to people, it's become a war that's based upon the dollar, the true dollar. You've got some of the major defense contractors that are just getting filthy rich. And I'll throw something else in there just as well. 18 years ago, because I just looked it up, 18 years ago, the price of diesel fuel was 79 cents a gallon. 79 cents a gallon. And the price of gasoline was about the same then as it is now. Well, we have a war that's going on where you have all these armaments, you got all these apparatuses that are using diesel. Even our oil producers saw a chance to become lucrative by it. So now you've got $3 and something and diesel oil is waste oil. It's byproduct. So everybody's starting to become what I call filthy rich based over it. And I think we've lost the perspective. I think while we're there, and we got to get that perspective back and go in and kick some you-know-whats and get it done.
You said something very important a second ago, and I want to elaborate on why it's taking so long in Afghanistan. Because in World War II, the country pulled together, it unified. Everybody, the women here, the schools, everybody, they unified towards a project, and we all went in there and we were committed to win. We all had a stake in the party. We knew somebody who was over there, and we wanted to do what we could for them. But since World War II, which only lasted 4 years, since then we had Korea. America was tired of fighting. We had enough. And Korea, that was a United Nations deal. We didn't have a real serious stake in that. Why? It was Korea. It didn't affect us over here, did it? Really? No. We were fighting communism. So that took a little longer, and we took a lot of losses. But then right after that, followed within 10 years, we were already in Vietnam. Why? Money, the French government and their infrastructure, and we were trying to support them due to the Paris Accords. And now everybody's tired of fighting. But now we're actually having to draft people. World War II, people were lined up around the block to volunteer. Vietnam, we had to draft people, and nobody wanted to go. Well, after Vietnam, we were tired of it because what good were we doing? Everything we fought for, we gave back. Guys were dying for nothing.
I think President Eisenhower's words of wisdom stand clear today, and that is knowledge, a knowledgeable citizenry, okay, informed citizenry. I think you may be informed of what's going on, but people aren't listening and paying attention. They're too busy with their heads in their phones.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, it's a total disconnect to what's going on. You got men and women raising their hand to swear an oath to defend this country. They're being sent over to a meat grinder because they're hoping that their government is going to do the right thing. But a lot of times government can be swayed by corporate paychecks. And there's disconnect all over the place. So that's why I think we've got a war for 18 years in Afghanistan. It started off genuine and they took advantage of it. Because who's the mayor of Chicago? What's his name again? He goes, never let a good opportunity go to waste. And I think we're looking at,
That's true.
I think we're looking at this as an opportunity for everybody to get, like you said, filthy rich on an opportunity that was beneficial to us in the beginning, but now is being taken advantage of.
You know, I talked to a gentleman just at his house a couple of days ago. He's home on leave from Afghanistan. I'm sorry, he was in Iraq, that area. He is a private contractor. Now, the company that he works for is one of these major companies. He is basically being a mechanic on diesel, making over $140,000 a year. You know, people are making money. They're profiting off of people dying, in my opinion.
I got to add to that, though, that we have had almost as many contractors killed over there as the military.
Yeah.
And, of course, they're doing it for money. They've got their own perspectives. But if it wasn't for the contractors, the lights wouldn't be on. Our communications wouldn't work. Our generators wouldn't work. The troops wouldn't be as fed as much. So I love the contractors, and we're doing it for the money, for sure. But,
yeah, but I think also if there's opportunities out there and people are looking to benefit themselves and improve themselves, I've got really no problem with that. But you have to go a step further and say, you know, there's a core element of nationalism. That means you're patriotic about your country.
Right.
Okay? Don't give me this crap about it's a bad thing, French president.
oh, yeah.
I won't say it. But I'm a nationalist. I love my country. I'm patriotic about it. But, you know, you got people that are taking advantage, or not taking advantage of, but utilizing an opportunity, but they got to go a step further and say, hey, you know, is this opportunity of a right opportunity? Maybe I should be pushing against it. You got people getting killed. What's the reason for them getting killed?
I do see that America does stand behind the vets a lot, and I'm very happy to hear that. I love that. Veterans are being treated better now than I think they ever have in history. Chief, go ahead.
I'm wondering if, you know, this article, that after 17 years, many Afghans blame the U.S. for unending war. You know, I think we've got to the point now where we just accept the fact it's going on. But what's going to happen, and it's going to happen, we all know it's going to happen, when we have another incident like the Twin Towers. Are we going to go back and are we going to reinvigorate ourselves and be behind it again, or just kind of lull out? I don't know. That's something I think.
I think if it's an internal of the U.S. border, you'll have about a year's worth of patriotism like you did in 2001 with flags on vehicles, the whole works, and then people are going to be busy and thinking, okay, government's got it, we're going to continue on with our life. When that happened, I was on the radio every day listening to any bit of news I could find as to how our guys were doing, our gals were doing out there, the advancement, the success of our mission, the whole works. But a lot of people are fading away from it. I know there's people in this community who have lost loved ones. Why? They must ask themselves, why? What's the sense of it all?
You know, it's going to
And let me say something else, too. To go back to that movie, Mark, we don't know who the bad guys are anymore, right? The good guys aren't anymore. I'll put on a uniform. I'll grab a weapon. I'll defend this country to the death. Okay, I'll be one of the worst ones you want to come across when the reason is right. But if it isn't right, I got a problem with that.
What I wonder is the cartels in Mexico will be our next Afghanistan, and you know, I see that down the road.
That's quite possible.
You know, I see that as part of what we're dealing with.
I had a good conversation with my wife about Noriega, how the U.S. government more or less put him and several other dictators in those positions back then. They were dealing with the drug cartels back then. When they stopped playing ball with us and other government agencies, that's when we had to replace and reorganize. So the drug cartels have been down there for a long time.
Right.
Now we're losing control over them. They're becoming more undisciplined. And now that you've got a good point.
They're almost part of the government now. If you look at it.
Well, the State Department could probably tell you a lot more about that, couldn't
I'm
they?
sure they could.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just got a couple minutes left. I brought this up because I'm a patriot through, just like the guys in this room, okay? And I just got to the point where I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. Got a reason to go? Absolutely. That's what we're here for. We're here to protect ourselves. And but I think it's just gotten out of hand. I think it's crazy. And I think everybody should restudy the situation, reevaluate it, become knowledgeable, become aware, and start speaking up and say things about it as to, hey, what is the objective? What is the goal? And try to get a straight answer.
I saw there was the national news on last night. As a matter of fact, I think it was the Jeff Glore. They were showing they were showing China, Russia, and the United States of what they spend on national defense. The United States spends $810 billion. Russia spends $60 billion. China spends $43 billion. So what does that tell us? We're in a lot of places. We're the world police.
That's right. And I don't want to be the world police. Let people police themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Now, legitimately, if there's a reason, if there's a country and they're doing something, and let's say North Korea is legitimate in the sense of they're a threat to us nuclear-wise, which I don't think that's the case. I just think it's a lot of rhetoric. But they have the second largest army, third largest army, conventional army.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, it's a lot of people, but heck, we'll decimate them. It's not the problem. I think it's just a stabilization process, which is good. But if you got a country that's legitimately a threat and a danger, okay, let's do what we got to do about
I
it.
got to also say, look at the big picture of things, because the U.S. State Department is doing a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. So there's a lot of countries involved, a lot of economies involved. There's a lot of other things that are very important, or else we're just going to open it up to terrorism and we're going to have to redo it again. I'm out.
Okay, we got about a minute left to go. So, Chief, you got a final word before I shut the show down?
I just think that, you've got two guys in this room, not me, these other two guys, who have put their life on the line over in foreign countries. And I just don't think we can thank these guys like who's sitting here beside me enough, and those that have come home, and especially those that came home with a flag draped over them.
I want one clarification. I'm a soldier. Mark's a warrior. He's seen the sting of battle. Okay, I salute him. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, until next week, keep your powder dry and God bless.